All right, gentlemen. Y'all are good.
Okay. We're ready?
You're rolling.
We're rolling. Welcome to episode 120 of Convos on the Pedicab. We're here with rising star, badass country musician, Ellis Bullard. Ellis got shouted out recently on the Joe Rogan podcast, and now he's here talking to the peasants on the tricycle. So it's a total honor. I'm so excited to do this.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to be here, dude. I'm a big fan of yours, so I'm, equally stoked to be here.
No, I'm the fan. I've been listening to your music. It's really good. I feel like I went into a time machine back into the 1960s.
Make sure you're talking.
Son. Yeah, man, definitely. Well, I mean, that's kind of like what we like to listen to, like in the van, and more or less a lot of us grew up like around that stuff, and we decided we wanted to make a record that was like sounded like some shit we like to listen to, and it became like a passion project, a labor of love, and now it pays the bills, you know.
That's pretty cool. How long have you been grinding them before you started getting recognition?
Man, I've been at it for a long time, dude. Like, to be honest, like Facebook will remind me how long I've been eating shit, and like the memories, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll go back like 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and I had like my full name's Landon Ellis Bullard.
Okay.
And my first like band I guess I had was like Landon Bullard and the Mostly Sober. And, like,
that's a great name.
Kickin' brand. But I don't know, man. It was like me trying to like fit in like a box. There's like this like red dirt Texas country scene that's like a lot of people are in. And I was good enough to like get gigs, and like I was opening for people then too, but like I wasn't like doing anything that would like set myself apart from it. And like, to be honest, I wasn't really like into that kind of music. Like, I've always really been into like Waylon Jennings and Jerry Reed, Dale Watson, George Jones, country in that vein. So I said, I'm gonna make another record, and I'm gonna come at it in like a different way. So I ended up sitting down with Mitch Ballard, who's the senior creative director at BMI here in town, and showed him some of my new music that I've been working on, and trying to just get some game on what I should do. And he said I should probably rebrand, and I ended up coming up with just going with my middle name, Ellis. So
I mean, that's a good decision.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
it sounds like it's a household name. Like, I'm about to go see Ellis Bullard. Like, that's Ellis Bullard. Like, that's a star name. Like, the Landon Bullard and like the Mostly Sobers is just seems like you would just be playing at bars for the rest of your life. But like Ellis Bullard headlines major arenas.
Son.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's
right.
That's the name association.
Certainly. Well, yeah, man, we wanted to be taken real serious, or just more serious. We didn't just want to be that bar band, and I just decided to rebrand, and since then it's been great. We've just really been had our nose to the grindstone for a long time, but starting to really get some wins and really set ourselves apart from other people in the scene.
So, how long have you been in Austin for?
Man, I graduated in like 2015.
Okay.
I moved up here. And so...
and you went where? To Texas State?
Yeah, so I was right down the road. So some of my first gigs were like bouncing down here. Like, then whenever I was playing music, I was on the other side of the bar, and I was gigging at like Trophy Room or the Blind Pig. And I think I played at my buddy's spot, the Rooftop, for their anniversary like a long time ago. And been at it ever since, man. It was like, whenever I graduated, I knew I wanted to play music, but I had to like get like a gig to fucking support the stuff, lifestyle.
Well, I mean, I understand. I ride this tricycle around to support my artistic creativity. So
right, but like I was like working like at like a fucking call center, and I was like banging my head against the wall working this desk job. So I ended up like taking everything that I learned from sales working for this company, and like applied it to music. So I was like cold calling music venues, and like really trying to sell myself and like booking shows that way. So then like next thing I knew, I like quit my job because I had enough, income just from playing shows. So it's like just been a grind like that ever since. Like, banging out the phones and sending emails and keeping a full calendar, and then just trying to keep growing as like a writer and a performer along the way.
Gee, that's a good idea. I need to actually like because I'm pretty busy with what I've been doing also, and I think a lot of artists and creatives make this mistake of like, I don't even think it's a mistake, but they put all their work into the creative and very little into the business.
Right. Like a lot of people expect shit to like, dude, just because you're great doesn't fucking mean that something's gonna happen for you.
No, and to be honest, you could also be terrible and have something happen to you as well.
Right. No, yeah, it happens. It's called opportunity. You know what I mean? You just got to make sure that you're fucking ready for it whenever it happens. Otherwise, you'll be like, a burnout. It'll just be a flash in the pan as opposed to like longevity. So like if you've been at it for a fucking while and you've carried the water and chopped the wood and you're good at what the fuck you do, then whenever you get an opportunity, you knock that shit out of the park, and it's like consistent. So you've got to keep fucking doing it. Keep,
Well, it's work. People always say like when you do what you love, you never work a day in your life.
It's the fucking
But that's
truth,
no,
man.
I actually disagree with you.
Well, it's work, but if the work doesn't make you happy, then you're fucked.
So if you're doing what you love, you actually never stop working because you never want to. Is what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? When you find what you love to do, you literally will never stop working. All you think about is work. That's all you want to do. Like every time I even like go to a party, right? I feel like I sometimes don't even know how to chill anymore because every time I'm like around people, in a situation where I'm not like actively doing something, all I'm thinking about is the next thing I want to do.
Right. No, yeah, definitely. I'm always like checking my emails or like wondering like if this person's like checked out our EPK yet, or like thinking about the next show or something like that, or like what we could be doing better to kind of like promote, and like because now we've like we've got a really good band and some good music, but like our content like we need to fucking get our shit together on that. You know what I mean? It's tough. Like we need to have like our YouTube channel, because like nowadays like there's so many opportunities there for us to have so many of these different channels just dripping stuff, that we've got people that we're scaling a community around, like new music for Spotify, maybe it's clips on YouTube and like Instagram and stuff for people
I need to get my Telegram channel for Convos and the Pedicab up and running.
See?
Because like I just don't, I'm like, oh, I got Rumble, I got YouTube, I was posting on Flow, and I have Instagram, I got my Twitter, so I'm like, but honestly, like, why not do Telegram also? Why not just start posting episodes on Telegram?
Right.
Why, like...
It's another community, man, and, like, if you ever decided to, like, scale this to a point to where you could do, like, a live session or a live podcast or something where you're trying to sell tickets to something, or let's say that you're trying to go speak somewhere at a public place and people, that believe in what you're doing want to come see you speak, then they're in those communities and they know
see it,
about
and Telegram doesn't shadow ban. You know what I
Right.
mean? Or stifle algorithms, so it'll be a lot more natural and organic. So that's something I should probably do. I've never wanted to Telegram my culture jamming and stuff like that because I wouldn't know what the title is going to be, But the podcast is kind of like the culture jamming is a lot of fun, and it's, I love it.
It's
and
a
I think
great way to get eyes on
it gets eyes on you, and what it also does is, like, it's the best way to fight whatever the tyranny is going on. Like, you should have multiple avenues for it.
Right.
But, like, culture jamming and doing, making a mockery out of people is only one step of the battle. Like, you want it to lead to something. Like, you want to actually be able to, like, use it as a segue to meet people that you look up to, and have discussions with people that you look up to, and have discussions with people that you admire, so that through these discussions, ideas get created, and with these ideas getting created, you help facilitate the world becoming a better place.
Yeah, change you want to see,
Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight, but I think that's a big component, and I think the podcast is what I enjoy doing podcasts a lot more than I enjoy like making other content. But the other content right now is probably more important and also goes along with it.
Hand in hand.
It goes very much hand in hand with it.
It gives people that are like here more stuff to digest, so the next time that you have a podcast, they're that much more stoked for it.
Yeah, they want to actually talk to you and see you as a human, right? Because it's like, you don't want to be seen as just some kind of clown. It's fun, but it's like, oh wow, the clown's intelligent. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, you want to have multiple avenues where people are like, oh wow, this guy's actually pretty smart. Like this, I kind of like what this guy's got to say. So I think that's my take on it. That's how I like kind of want to look at it. But I also understand that, like, everything makes you better at hosting podcasts, right? If all I want to do is host podcasts, I wouldn't be a good podcast host. Like, being good at this, it's about life experience and doing things that go beyond your comfort zone, because that helps you like expand your worldview of things to make you better at communicating and listening, I think.
Right. No, yeah, definitely, it's reps. You know, like and like podcasting in itself. Son, get that bill.
I know, dude. We're in nature, bro. This is like an organic. This is a real episode, you know.
No, yeah, definitely.
I've done episodes like in the summer. There's like flies circling around people and stuff like that. And you're dealing with like politicians and like executives, and they're just like on a tricycle, like it's 100 degrees, just like trying to swat flies away. I love it.
Right. No, man, this is super cool. But like we were saying, man, like getting better at podcasting. You don't get better at podcasting without doing podcasts. They're like, and also like other things that go with it. So like going out and talking to people in the wild, and going out and talking to strangers in public is gonna obviously make you better at conversations and becoming like an intent listener whenever you're speaking with a guest, like personally.
Yeah, exactly. And it also makes you better at like selling yourself to other people where you can actually make a living from this. Right. I think I'm gonna start dedicating one day out of the week to just hitting up businesses, just to get sponsors, just for sponsors. Just be like, hey, would you like to sponsor my bike? Hi, would you like to sponsor my bike? Like every Tuesday, right, or something, like hypothetically, maybe even every Monday, because normally I don't come in on Mondays, right? But like every Monday, I'm just like, all right.
And you'll get good enough.
We're gonna go fish. We're gonna go fishing. We're gonna decompress, and we're gonna bring this. We're gonna bring the laptop, go to a coffee shop, and we're gonna message 10 different businesses to see if they could want to sponsor my podcast.
Yeah, man. And seriously, you'll do like maybe that 3 or 4 times, and like 4 of them will say yes, 5 of them will say yes, and you'll have plenty.
Yeah, even if one says yes, it's like that helps out so much. Like it doesn't matter, you know.
Exactly. It's just a numbers game, man. It's all metrics, and like, and it's all not always no right. It's just like not no forever. It's no right now. So like that's like another thing you got to get used to. Like anything you want to do in life is get used to that shit not coming immediately. It's going to be a lot of no's.
A lot of no's, and it should be because it makes you appreciate it when it does happen.
So it makes those wins that much sweeter.
It makes that much better. Like you don't want to be some overnight sensation that just gets big really quickly, or like be a child star, or be some kid that makes a funny meme in high school or a funny video that goes viral. You don't want to be the kid that goes viral in high school because it's only down from there.
Right. Yeah, man. You fly too close to the sun like Icarus. You know?
Dude, you get burned, bro. You get burned.
Yeah. It's definitely you get exposed, like you said. Like there's something to the sauce about having your tenure, having your time, getting your reps in, and being authentic and being real. Because like at the end of the day, you have longevity, and when people like call on your skill and you got it, like there's no denying it. That's like the best advice I could give anybody. Is just become undeniable.
Yeah, I mean longevity is just being true to who you are no matter what.
1,000%.
Just be true to who you are. Like don't make things for clicks. Don't make things for money. If that happens, cool. But like you're making things because it's what you want to do.
Right. Well, like I'm an entertainer and I'm an artist, but I'm also in the business of selling records and like playing shows and selling tickets. So like I want to make money, but like I want people to like Ellis. I want people to like my music, and like I want people to like. Enough to where I can go fill a room like the Opry or something like that.
Dude, you packed the Continental Club. You packed like a staple of Austin, and you headlined an event and packed it.
We were nervous about that because we have 2 residencies here in town, so like people can come see us weekly for free, and I think that space is like a little over 200, maybe like 220, and. We were super nervous about it, but like whenever we were like a day out, I got a message from our manager Jake, and he was like, "Yo, there's a low ticket alert. Like, let's do like another push, and we'll probably get it done." And so I was like texting my buddies, calling back on some old friends I ain't talked to in a minute. I was like, "Yo, I need y'all to fucking get there."
And they did.
Yeah, man, people came out, and we ended up selling out the show. We had a good show that night too. The boys played great.
Dude, you were amped. I loved it. You were so hyped the entire time.
Fired up, boy.
Dude, I love the whiskey shots that you were taking. I just love all the shots you were taking in between sets.
Yeah, man. People were bringing us some drinks and stuff like that, and we needed to get lubricated. So it was a good time, man.
That's what's up. Hey, how long have you been training for?
Just about a year, probably like a little over a year, maybe like a year and some change, like a month.
What made you start?
So, I've been a fan of like MMA for a long time. And like I remember watching like Bodog and like all the other like the WEC and like Strike Force and EDXC, and then there's like the unification, all that, and like the UFC, and like I grew up in like the sprawl and brawl era, and then there was like jiu-jitsu and all that stuff started coming around a little bit later on, and I grew up in a small like southern town in Texas. They didn't have wrestling, and there certainly wasn't any jiu-jitsu gyms around, so I had no outlet for any of that. So.
Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Bay City, Texas, which is south of Houston.
Okay.
And whenever, pretty much fast forward to like this last year, I met Gordon Ryan, George St. Pierre, Joe Rogan, and Andy Craig, like all in one night. They came out to our show at the White Horse, and Andy invited me into the gym after talking about the sport for a little while. And I started off, I was over there just doing striking for a bit, and I was always like watching like the grappling and stuff, and like was super interested in that. So I started splitting time between like I'd do either like striking, then grappling, and go like twice a day, and eventually just started just going to the grappling.
Grappling, yeah.
It's a little bit easier on the hands, and like to be honest, like as far as like the workout goes and stuff, I kind of enjoy it.
Well, also you can't be looking all messed up, getting punched in the eye while you're giving. That's probably not the best look either.
Right, man. And I mean, there's like there's the depth pool over there at 10th Planet. It's pretty deep, man. There's a lot of guys over there that are actually like fighting and stuff like that. So,
yeah, they're really good. Yeah,
it's like
so unless you want to be a fighter, like do you want to like? Cause it's a different intensity. Like you're not training with recreational
I'm also not
athletes.
trying to like rob anybody of any reps or anything. Like
that is true, right? Yeah.
Don't want to waste anybody's time. So, I really found a home over there. They're really welcoming. They've been great over there, and I mean, shit, dude. Like, I haven't really changed my lifestyle. Like, people hang out with me. They know who I am.
Yeah.
And, I've lost and maintained like 25 pounds off, and I'm still, I don't necessarily follow a particular diet or whatever, but I've just had great benefits from it, man. It's a really stressful fucking industry I'm in, and it's really easy to find yourself in a shitty headspace. So, I recommend anybody, whether you're not like going to go like train jiu-jitsu or whatever, but just get out and move around.
Well, what makes being a musician so stressful?
I mean, shit, you're always like dealing with yourself. You're always like in a battle with in your mind space. I mean, like in your mindset, like you're fucking trying to legit like, pay your bills. I mean, in fucking Austin it's tough, but like, you're trying to pay your bills and also like your bandmates, and there's a lot of shit you got to think about. So like, not only like you got to like not worry about your like interpersonal problems, but you've got to fucking micromanage a lot around you as well. And I think that stressing yourself out and like going to like the brink of exhaustion and like really killing yourself, you don't really leave yourself any energy to entertain any kind of like bad thoughts after that, or like the other problems you're kind of presented with the rest of the day is kind of like minimal.
No, I agree with you. Training makes me better at trolling, so I understand it completely. Like,
yeah,
it makes you better at doing podcasts, and it makes your brain a lot more clear to navigate life, especially with how crazy things are right now. It's like an imperative to actually train, work out, and eat right.
Well, there's something to it, man. Like, and like if after you do it for a while, you notice whenever you don't train, or you notice whenever you've been fucking having too much fun.
Yeah. Well, do you feel like it's made you more creative?
I don't want to say yes or no, but it's definitely like opened up like a different gear. Like I would say like I feel like I have like more energy, which would allow me to like open up, more time for creativity or something like that. Like I don't like, yeah, like it would be like me saying like weed makes me more creative, but like I don't know if it does or not. Like I'd have to keep training and stuff like that, or like stop training to see if there's any sauce to it. But like if I haven't had a writing block, a writer's block in a long time, and I think that's because I'm training and I don't have like the energy for my mind to get wrapped up into something that would keep me from like not having the bug.
That makes sense. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I wrote my first 2 rap songs.
Yeah.
While I was training for fights.
Nice.
So that like got me really creative. Because like
Right.
6 years ago, like I had an MMA fight in like March of 2017. I did like a Golden Gloves boxing match in like 2018, like in February, right before I decided to try to be the mayor of Austin.
Dude.
Um, But all of these creative ideas were happening to me while I was getting ready to fight. Like I was thinking, like all of these crazy things just started going into my brain as I was like going through these like fight camps.
Well, you know, you're exercising and like you're I feel like it probably does cause your brain to, you know, the synapses are probably firing a lot different, you know, a lot better, you know, and it's probably you probably are, you know, opening up a different gear whenever you're training like that.
It makes you more creative. I really think it does. Like I took an improv comedy class when I was getting ready for my MMA fight, and well, one of the things I noticed was that it didn't really help me so much in the fight, but like being at the gym helped me with improv.
Okay.
Like, yeah, you know, because the guys I was training at the gym were a lot funnier than the people in my comedy class.
Dude, you'll find the gym is like packed full of funny.
Dude, it's like it's full of comedians. Like everyone's a joker. It's hilarious.
1,000% for sure. It's a pretty interesting melting pot over at the gym. You've got like doctors and lawyers and like people that are in the comp scene, and you know, the people that like work at the gym itself and stuff. And yeah, it's like it's pretty cool that like people from all over the spectrum of the industry or verticals or whatever get in there,
and everybody gets along, and everybody it really is like a melting pot of like bringing people together.
Straight up.
It really
You know
it's
for a fact that like there's like people all over the political spectrum in there or whatever.
I don't think anymore.
Yeah,
I don't think anymore. I
They
think
got
it used
ran
to be.
out.
I think it used to be. I think before
Yeah.
COVID that used to be true.
Right.
But I don't know that that's really necessarily the case.
You mean
Especially
this planet isn't a liberal hotbed.
yes. Dude, the shit I talk about is mainstream thought over there.
Right. Yeah.
It's mainstream thought.
Zach Moore.
Yeah, people like I get my news from him sometimes.
Why not? I get my news from World Star. So.
That's solid.
It's unbiased for the most part.
Clown World is a good source of news on Twitter.
I'll go check that out.
You should follow an account. There's a guy called Oilfield Rando. That guy is hilarious. You have to follow him.
It's like, get it from Al Jazeera, World Star, and old
Oilfield Rando.
Yeah.
I get my news from a guy with a cartoon ape on his avatar. That's what
Yeah.
I try.
Hell yeah.
I love that that's the world we're living in, though. I love it. Like the guy with a picture of a cartoon ape is more trustworthy than the news anchor.
You know, I mean, they had it, you know, for so long, you know. I mean, fuck, the internet ruined it. You know, if we didn't have the internet, we'd all still be like, yeah, huh. You know, but like the internet fucking ruined that shit. Like back in the 60s and 70s, you just saw what the fuck they told you. Like the government was like, man, this is cake.
Yeah.
Cakewalk.
I mean, if we had an internet, we wouldn't have gone to Vietnam for as long as we did.
Probably not, you know. It would have been like a lot of shit would have been changed, you know.
Yeah, no, like Congress would not have voted continuously to send troops to Vietnam if everybody on social media were talking about how the Gulf of Tonkin was fake.
Talk about a good band name.
The Gulf of Tonkin. That's a good name.
You know?
That's a name.
Sleeper name.
That's it. Wow. The Gulf of Tonkin.
Sounds
well,
like
what
a
would
good
they?
stoner metal band.
Well, you think? No, I think it'd be more like a hipster, like it would be like a hipster, like EDM, like soft rock band or something, like you know what I mean?
Yeah, like
or a punk rock band. It could be a punk rock band.
like tropical house is what they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Gulf of Tonkin. It would be like the Magnetic Field or something like that.
Okay.
Dude, that's an interesting group.
It really is.
That's a really interesting group. Like they've been around forever too, right?
A pretty good while. I mean, what do you think like the average lifespan of like entertainers is now that there is social media?
Like in terms of career or actual living?
I mean, shit. Songwriters aren't making dick nowadays. Like, unless you wrote like Old Town Road or some shit. You know, like, I mean, like, I know, like, a ton of people that are, like, songwriters that have, like, cuts that, you know, people won Grammys or people, you know, been Grammy nominated with those. And they were, like, in the golden era of, like, the songwriting era, like, the early, like, 2000s and stuff, whenever people were only selling CDs.
You were making bank.
Oh,
but you were also getting really bad record contracts where you weren't seeing any of the money anyway.
Well, that's different. So that's what, like, the artists, but, like, the people that, like, write the songs, like, the label purchases them from a publishing house for their artists to record.
Oh, the artist. Okay, so you're assuming that the artist doesn't write the songs.
There's a lot of them that don't. George Strait, you know, sang a lot of Dean Dillon.
Yeah, that is true. There are a lot of, even in like hip hop and stuff, there's a lot of songwriters that just
Ghostwriters.
Yeah,
you know?
a lot of ghostwriting.
There's like, you know, Drake has. I mean, I've heard. You know,
but it's like how difficult do you think it's got to be to ghostwrite mumble rap? Like you just write one verse and repeat it like 10 times.
It's probably the best gig to have.
No, the best gig to have is to be a punter in the NFL.
That's good.
Being a punter in the NFL is the best job. If I have a kid, I'm just gonna make him punt footballs, like for 3 hours every day, because he's gonna get a free ride to college. He's not gonna have to really do very much. He's gonna be banging like super hot women all the time, and he's gonna have a 20-year career in the NFL potentially, where he's making like 6 to 7 figures, and he has no risk of injury, no risk of brain damage.
He might not even be getting tackled at that point.
He won't be getting yeah.
You know, like because you know, there's they're dumbing down the sport more and more each year. They're, you know, trying to make it more safe for people. So I wonder how much longer they'll be tackled in the NFL.
Well, the day they stop tackling is the day the NFL stops.
The NFL dies.
NFL dies if they
becomes
do that.
rugby.
Yeah, honestly,
rugby's pretty fucking gnarly.
But it's actually safer than football for your brain.
I don't see how, but yeah, I'll agree. I'll say yeah.
No, I know how, because people don't tackle with their head because their heads are exposed. It's like it's like boxing, right? Like when people box
with gloves, you don't punch as hard as you do when you're barehanded, you don't swing as hard. Is that what it is?
There's that, but also you're a lot more cautious about how you fight if you're not wearing headgear. Like Teddy Atlas, like Mike Tyson's trainer was talking about that like he said that Mike Tyson rarely sparred with headgear on. Because, or he didn't like his fighters sparring that much of the headgear because when people put the headgear on, they hit harder. You know what I mean? Like if you're sparring with someone, you see them wearing headgear, there's like an internal psychological component in your brain that's just gonna say, oh,
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, this guy's got headgear on, I can go to town.
You see that? Do you what do you think about the new bare knuckle stuff going on?
I don't know. I haven't watched it too much. I think it's kind of cool though.
It's awesome.
I think it's cool. I mean, they used to do that back in the day.
Oh,
like
yeah.
in that, like 150 years ago, they used to do that. And they used to have rounds that were 100 round. They used to have 100-round fights back then.
That's crazy.
And you know the Marcus of Queensberry rules. You know how what those rules were?
No, what are those? Because
So,
didn't Ngannou and them just say something about?
Okay, in order for if you were to get knocked down, you were good to go if you were able to get up with the help of 3 friends.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's like whenever you watch Lithway for the first time and you see somebody get knocked out and revived and the fight keeps going.
I've never seen that.
So I watched this, I was like exposed to it like a couple years ago. There's this show on Netflix called Fight World.
Okay.
And Frank Grillo pretty much traveled around to the different parts of the world and like found like different martial arts that are kind of like not mainstream. So one of them is like Lithway, and it's like Muay Thai but with headbutts, and like you can get revived, and it's fucking intense. It's bare knuckle, so basically he goes over and like they're in like the jungle in Myanmar and like following all these like Lithway fighters, and like these kids are in the jungle. And, like, they're, like, beating the shit out of each other. There's not really a hospital in sight. There's not really any, like, anti-inflammatory this or that. So they're, like, beating each other until their heads are fucking swollen. You know what I mean? And, like, it's just, like, a really intense combat martial art, man. And, it's kind of getting mainstream. They had, like, a fight over here in the U.S. under those rules. And
it's crazy. But I do feel as though smaller gloves. Well, MMA gloves are different though, because the MMA gloves were put in place to protect, not to protect your brain, but to protect the person doing the hitting.
Right. Well, also I thought it just was also to allow people to still be able to use their hands for like grappling.
Well, no, I know, but the first couple of UFCs were all bare knuckle. They didn't have gloves.
Some people did, and some people didn't.
But you didn't have to, right?
Yeah,
and the reason they had the gloves,
from...
yeah, it was to protect the person doing the hitting. It was not to help with brain damage. It was to protect the person doing the hitting. I'm assuming you've been in a couple street fights, right?
Been in some Slavinovers.
The guy?
Yeah.
How do your hands feel after being in a street fight?
I mean, it sucks, dude. Like, I've been in my fair share of stuff, but yeah, it sucks, man. Hitting people like in the head or like catching people wrong, it's just painful.
Right. Okay. So imagine if you're like boxing, right? You're in a boxing match, bare knuckle, and the person that the person that you're boxing against, like has a decent chin, and you don't really get to knock them out. Eventually, your hands start hurting, so you have to fight differently, and because of that. Or because you have to be more strategic with how you're throwing punches, especially like if you're bare knuckle boxing, because you're not like in a street fight going to town for 30 seconds trying to kill somebody. Like if you're fighting another trained fighter, you actually have to be more strategic with like your punch placement.
Right.
And because of that, you're probably not going to absorb as much brain damage. So it would stand to reason that bare knuckle boxing is probably safer and better for your brain. Even though it sounds insane to say that out loud, right. than boxing with like big gloves.
Yeah, well, you're saying that it's better for your brain, not for your face. These people get cut up.
Oh, they get it's horrible for your face.
They'll be able to talk later on.
Yeah, you'll have a functioning brain, and that's another thing too, which is why I think like rugby's safer than football, for your brain.
Right.
You're probably more likely to get more gruesome knee injuries and like those types of that type of stuff, right? But for your brain, it's definitely safer. Because like people literally lead with their heads to make tackles.
Well, yeah,
you can't lead with your head in rugby when there's no helmet.
Like I remember in Pop Warner, like Pee Wee football, like they're trying to get you used to contact and not afraid to like get hit or hit people. So they're like, you line up 15 yards away from the other fucking 7-year-old or however old y'all are, and they fucking blow a whistle and you get up and you run fucking full speed at each other. And, you're trying to plow over the kid or tackle him. And, I mean, they're doing that at, like, a young age, and, like, you do that all the way. You play football from then all the way through high school and on to college. Your brain's fucked.
Yeah, you played football, right, in high school?
Yeah, man, but I wasn't, like, good. Like, I didn't, like, kind of, like, I feel like I just kind of started becoming, like, athletic in my 20s.
Okay. But did you play varsity football at all?
Man, I kind of gave up on all that shit. I was like smoking weed and surfing and playing tunes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, man. I grew up like down on the coast, so the beach was there, and like none of my close friends were on the team or anything like that. And I mean, I was like a big kid, but like I wasn't that good, and I didn't take it that serious. So like, yeah, man,
football didn't happen.
Yeah. Wasn't for me, dude. I mean, I enjoyed it, and like probably if I would have taken it a little bit more serious, but I wasn't a serious kid. So
no, I get it. There's a pedicabber that I ride with, and he was like, I think it was like his junior or senior of high school, and he got a huge concussion. Like didn't know where he was. Like,
dude, my friends got
like
fucking
trashed.
Like
didn't know where he was. Like the coach was asking like how many fingers he was holding up, couldn't answer the question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know if he like took his clothes, like was taking like part of his was like undressing, like in the like on the sidelines because he didn't know what was going on, and like. 4 plays later, he's back in the game.
Right,
he's back in the game.
Shit in his pants. Like
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I have a buddy who got put on like the Texas High School Football Monthly like play of the day. Like got fucking put in a coffin and got hit so hard, and it was just like, and we ended up going to the same college, got the same. Same shit. Yeah.
Do you still work with the same bandmates?
Same bandmates?
Yeah.
No, dude, that shit's tough, man. Actually, I've had the same steel and bass player for about 2 years now, a little over 2 years now.
Okay.
But yeah, man, like once you get to a certain level, dude, like a lot of people get opportunities. There's always somebody that's out touring or like bigger that comes along that can offer more money, or it's just got a better gig set up. So some people take off, which is. It's common, and like I understand people got bills and shit to pay, but it's dope to find people to just like stick around and build around it,
Yeah, if you really are like, oh
it's
no, we're
it's
gonna
tough
go
with
big.
hired guns, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're gonna probably be fine now that you got the Rogan shout out. Has that gotten you more gigs?
Yeah, man. Well, so we've been shot. Like, I think that was our 4th time he's mentioned us on his podcast. And
And you've met him, right?
yeah, he's a cool guy, man.
All right, yeah,
Cool
of course.
guy. And we were touring, and yeah, man, we ended up selling out 2 shows in Wisconsin. Like that first week that he mentioned us, we had a show up in Plano, and like 120 people like overnight like showed up to that show. We didn't have any tickets sold, but after that aired, we had a shitload of people at that show, and it's just a little hole in the wall we were playing, but like with all those people in there slammed, and all of them were coming up to the merch booth, oh, Rogan this, Rogan that, and so it's been really good for us, man. It's like help put a magnifying glass on this little fire we've been starting down there.
That's amazing. Have you gotten offered for a record deal?
Yeah, we've talked to a few companies. We're kind of keeping it in house for the time being, but we're always open to something like that.
So what's that process like?
I mean, it's come a long way since then. Like making music's not nearly as expensive as it used to be, so you don't really necessarily need like this grandioso deal. Like you really just need somebody who's down to like handle pressing and pay for like good marketing. That's kind of like the best deal that you can try and work out. Whoever's willing to invest in that and whatever's going to help you keep ownership over your rights and stuff like that. It's got to be like a mutually beneficial thing. They're trying to make money, and you are too.
Yeah.
You got to be smart about it. So I recommend anybody. There's free like online music blog courses that you can check into, or hit up a buddy or somebody who's in law school. So if you ever get approached by somebody, you have somebody who can look at a contract and see what looks fair.
That makes sense. But that's cool. You're getting approached by big label executives, all right?
Not big labels, but independent labels nonetheless.
And so you have no label right now, right?
No, it's all us.
It's all indie. Okay.
We just signed with the management company 6 a.m. This last week. We announced that we signed with them, and Jake's really good over there. He's got a good vision. He's on board with what we've got going on, and so it takes something like that. Somebody who's got resources in the game that can kind of open up some doors and kind of help put you in front of the right people, or team you up with the right people to kind of move forward.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. What does do you have to pay the manager, or does the manager, like, how does that work?
Yeah, there's a it depends. I think industry standards anywhere from like 20 to 30%
of whatever you're making.
Of whatever you're making, but also like they work for you, man. If they're not generating opportunity for you that makes sense for you to be cutting them in, fucking fire their ass.
Oh, I mean, totally. So, what has your manager been able to get you?
I mean, we literally just signed with them, but before then, he hooked us up with a sweet gig where we opened up for the Eli Young band. It's not necessarily my cup of tea as far as music goes, but it put us in front of a lot of people, and it was a great opportunity, and it paid us a good amount of money, and so pretty much, he's in the business of like helping artists grow, and that's like whether it's like hooking you up with a booking agency and getting you really good shows, or setting up photo shoots, or setting up interviews, or going to your shows and making sure everything's taken care of and runs smoothly. There's a lot that goes into it, and so we're happy to have
that's a good thing.
Somebody help us out.
You ever had any moments when you just felt like you didn't want to do it anymore?
Fuck, man, all the time. Like all the time. You hit these walls, and like you've got to mitigate your expectations and sometimes it's okay to allow yourself to feel certain ways, but you can't sustain those feelings. You got to get rid of those and get back to it. And once you find the rhythm of things, you learn that like carrying the water and chopping the wood and like being consistent and like that's when you see your opportunities, and you're playing gigs, or that's what it is, man. It's just fucking doing those reps, and like that alone will help you fucking hit those little goals, and like um, you know
I think the biggest obstacle, like, because this happened to me a couple times, but probably on a much smaller scale, is just not letting people gas you up, I think.
Yeah, there's a ton of people that want to blow smoke up your ass and stuff like that. But, you got to hold yourself accountable and hold yourself to a standard. And, like, if you hold yourself to a standard and somebody comes up and they're gaslighting you, you know that they're full of shit. Because you're like, what are you talking about? I just fucking bombed. Like, I just blew it. Or, like, if you had, like, a bad podcast and you weren't on, you didn't feel it, and somebody, like, came up to you and was like, hey, I love this episode, or blah, blah, blah. You can kind of like
you didn't listen to this.
You
did not listen to that, and you're just trying to suck up to me.
Right. Like, what do you want? Like, what do they need from you at that point? It's like, I think that's the thing, dude. Is like setting yourself to a standard, like holding yourself accountable, and mitigating your expectations will take you a long fucking way. Because if you mitigate your expectations, then like you'll never fucking let yourself down. You won't be let down from the situation. But like, and I'm not saying don't have goals. I'm not saying like don't want things. But like, don't fucking tell yourself that something's gonna happen that you didn't work for, and when it doesn't fucking happen, start a fucking pity party. Like if you didn't work for it, if you didn't put in the work, you didn't rehearse, you didn't practice, you didn't change your strings, so the whole fucking set, your guitar's out of tune, you didn't fucking bring in extra guitars, so just in case your fucking string broke, you didn't have an extra one to throw on real quick. Like little things along the way. You didn't take the time to print out set lists, so now you're going into this and the whole band doesn't know what songs are going where, or like, there's little things that you can do to hold yourself accountable to a standard to know that you're going to win,
Yeah. You have a job where, people look like, oh, you're an entertainer, you're a partier, but a lot of people don't understand how serious it actually is.
1,000%. Well, you got to take yourself serious, because if not, you'll burn the fuck out, or like, you got to take care of yourself.
What's that guy talking about?
I think he said he's voting for Donald Trump in this new election.
Probably that's what he definitely
It
said.
sounded like he said, when we get out of here, come over here, we'll talk about Donald Trump in the next election.
That is definitely what he said, yes.
It could have been.
I don't know why anybody would have said anything else. That's, yeah, of course.
Or I think it wasn't Donald Trump. He said, you got to move your truck. I think that's what he said.
Oh, it said to Gary?
Yeah, I think he said to move his truck.
Okay. I hope no one's fucking in my car, because I parked in a weird area too.
I probably have somebody making the soup kitchen in my backseat right now.
Interesting.
Dirty Mike in the blues.
Ooh, Dirty Mike. Know about Dirty Mike. Dirty Mike. Crazy shit. That totally threw me off.
We were talking about
putting the work in. Don't be lazy. Reps. Reps. This is serious.
Holding yourself accountable to standards, and putting in the work and mitigating your expectations.
That is definitely a big.
It'll help you with your mindset, dude.
Jiu-Jitsu helps with that.
Yeah, well, I found myself fucking not necessarily expecting all these things, but I wasn't promoting shows like I should, or I wasn't, doing things that would set myself up to be a success. And then whenever things were fucking falling apart, it's like, why the fuck is this happening? It's like, well, all these little microcosms of me being, letting myself not being held accountable have led to this fucking this shitstorm that I'm in right now dealing with.
Yeah.
And so whenever you start doing that stuff, man, it really does it helps you win, man.
It does. You ever saw that movie Searching for Sugar Man?
Searching for Sugar Man?
Yeah, it was made in 2012. There was this guy named
Indie?
Indie film. There was this guy named Rodriguez. He was an artist. His guy named Sixto Rodriguez, and they were predicting for him to be the next Bob Dylan. Not in the 1960s.
Okay.
I'm
gonna have to check this out.
Yeah, and if you listen to his albums, he's actually really good. He sounds like he is the next Bob Dylan, maybe even better. And then he like sold like 6 records. He got like the record deal, and he sold like 6 records, and just became like a construction worker. And no one ever heard of him afterwards.
Sometimes it fucking happens like that, and you have no idea or reason why. And that's just the universe for you. You have to also come with terms that sometimes not everything's gonna fucking work out. Not everyone's due like their day. Like sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. And
I mean, I guess he got his day with the documentary that got made about him, 50 years later. But
right, and that's tough, man. But like like you said, like he's still objectively a great songwriter, a great performer, and all those things. And like if that was only his goal to do those things, if those were only his expectations, and like he wasn't telling himself that I'm gonna be bigger than Bob Dylan, then maybe he wasn't let down and his life was fulfilled.
It seemed like his life was pretty fulfilled. Like he was pretty happy, just
that's cool.
Raising his family and just doing construction and doing all that stuff. Like he seemed like he was fine with it, right? In the documentary.
Badass. Yeah, man. Like I said, man, it takes a mindset to take out and do something like that.
But that's how I look at like with what I'm doing, right? And yeah, it's a business, right? You want to make a living. To say, oh, I don't care about money, that's disingenuous. But I also look at this for the reason, like I'm doing this because first and foremost, I want to be creative and I want to make something. Because
right.
if I wanted to just make money, I could just find something out there. So many easier things that you could do to make money. If you were to all of a sudden, like if music didn't work out for you, and you put the same dedication that you had towards making music into selling software, you'd have a condo on Rainy Street in like 2 years. So whenever I look at like the idea of making stuff, like the primary reason I'm making stuff, yeah, I got to make a living, right? And there is a business side, and you have to understand that exists, and you should try to grow your brand as much as possible so you can make more stuff. But the ultimate purpose of making art is to make more art.
Right, 1,000%. So you can make art. Yeah, like the bills have to stay paid, and because they're paid, you can continue to make your art. And it's like you've got to set up the model to become perpetuated from that. Yeah, no, definitely, I agree with that.
Like, I want to make more art. I want to do more podcast episodes. I want to go to more meetings. I want to come up with more skits. I want to film things. And, if you can't pay your rent, you can't do that.
1,000%. Yeah, man. That's why, like, it was like, it sucked. Like, I got opened for Whiskey Myers on their Mud tour with, like, them and John David Kent. And then the next, like, week I was, like, at a desk in a call center, like, fucking wanting to blow my brains out.
Yeah,
like,
that's how it is.
Yeah, man. And it's like one thing or the other, I had to decide that I wanted to do music full time, and that was going to be it. And you figure out a way to make it work. If you want something bad enough, you figure it out. Like I, for the longest time would like do ride shares or like the gig economy, like do whatever the fuck I could to like pay for studio time, pay for merch, be able to afford a band. Like most of the time, whenever you're opening for somebody or you're like a pretty fresh band or something like that, you're not making a lot of fucking money. And if you want a good band, they cost, so sometimes you're working a part-time job just to pay your band on the weekend, to kind of break even on everything. And you keep fucking doing that until, you start making money.
Yeah, and it gets exhausting.
Oh, fuck
Doing that gets working your ass off
Put
for
every
something.
line on my face.
Yeah, working your ass off perpetually for something that's yielding results is absolutely exhausting.
It is, but then you get those little wins, like you fucking wake up and one day on Instagram you're fucking getting blown up.
Yeah, you're the clown on Instagram. Everybody knows you.
Right.
Yeah. We're doing these episodes together. Like I'm starting to see benefits.
Right.
I'm starting to finally see benefits and rewards for what I've been doing. But
you've been true to yourself. Dude.
And doing it for years. And you're doing it for years. And yeah, there were times I took breaks after I ran for mayor.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to do any creative stuff or athletic stuff. All I wanted to do was make money.
Right.
And I, once in a while you were like made some songs and did a few things here and there. But for the most part, it was, hey, Jujitsu, Pedicab, learn about investing, and then work as much as possible because I want to be able to afford to live in Austin, or I want to be able to own a house. And there's going to, I see how the world is going. There's going to be haves, there's going to be have-nots. I know what's happened with the land code and what happened with the 2018 elections. I know where Austin's headed, but you got to be a dog and make money in order to make it here, right? And so then, I refocused like what I wanted to put my time into as a result of how I saw the city. And then, you know, I would have probably continued along that path if it wasn't for COVID.
COVID was great for me too, man. It was a good reset for me.
Yeah. If it wasn't, well, I'm not gonna say it was good, but look, good things have come out of it, right? It's definitely not a good thing as to what it's being used for and how it's being implemented and what's happened as a result of it. But I started getting active again. Because people were telling me, hey, you should continue with the activism. You were really good when you did the mayor stuff, but I just had nothing that I wanted to be an activist for, you know?
Right.
So I was just said, hey, well, I'm just gonna work and make money. You know, I'm just gonna give pedicabs. I'm gonna go fishing. I'm gonna go roll. I'm gonna, take it easy.
Right.
And then once lockdowns and stuff happened, I'm like, oh no, you gotta say something. And then it started morphing into this.
Right.
Because there's an actual task that you're doing, but who knows, man? Once all of this ends, right? Like, you know, if this whole New World Order thing that's trying to be pushed out by Davos and the World Economic Forum and all that stuff, we're not trying to talk about that too much. We're talking about music.
Bring in the alien.
Dude, bro. That might be my next skit. Actually, is dress up like an alien. Just dress up as an alien.
Y'all shot down my shit. Who's paying for that?
No. I'm not gonna say that's not what it's gonna be. I'm gonna be dressed up as an alien and talk about how I'm here because everyone's fighting all the time and we have all these like poly crises and I'm really worried about what you're doing. I'm really worried about climate change and like we need one world government and I would like to be in control of the situation. On planet Sargon, we really believe in science. The alien's gonna be like woke to wear a mask. It's it'd be something similar to something along those lines.
We have no genders on Zolgan.
Yes. What is gender? Hello, I am from this planet. Yo, I actually should talk in an alien voice too, bro. That would be. Oh my, dude.
What if they had like the microphone that made your voice kind of like sound like a robot, kind of,
Hello, I can just do this myself though. Hello, I am from the planet Sargon. I'm here.
You should get a translator.
Yeah, I am here because we need one world government. Austin needs to be a 15-minute city. If you leave your designated domicile, then you need to spend the rest of your life in prison. Oh man, I'm giving it away right now. I gotta stop. But this is what the robot voice is gonna be where it's at.
Publish the flight logs.
Publish the flight logs. Jeffrey Epstein was my friend. Oh my god.
I was on the flight. I flew on the Bonita.
I flew. All my friends who flew, they all believe in science. They all want us wearing masks.
That's wild.
Yeah, dressing up like an alien. I gotta go back on Thursday, and I'm gonna just. I think the clown outfit's gonna probably return.
Do it.
Well, yeah, because they're trying to hire a new city manager. So I'm gonna be more formal. I'm gonna wear a suit this time.
There you go.
That's
Dude, that'd be even funnier almost. That's a layered joke. The clown in the suit.
Yeah,
that's
just
what
like,
all of them are.
Yeah. You're just putting this.
One of
Dude,
you
you're
guys.
right.
I'm one of you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Just like you.
Yeah, this will be fun. I'm excited. We'll see what happens. I'm just,
Do they prepare for you? Do you think they like they have like a minute meeting like before everything starts? Like, all right, y'all, he's probably here.
What are we gonna do about the trolls?
Try and be cool. Give him his time.
Well, Austin's also keep Austin weird. So like, there's more of a there's like a leeway for this type of stuff because of what Austin is.
Mm-hmm.
When I've gone to Dallas, people talk about Austin being all woke and libtarded. Dallas is like
Worse.
Dallas and like the suburban areas of Dallas are a lot worse.
I've noticed that like a lot of the trans story time stuff is like in like the
DFW area, bro.
Well,
yeah,
which really blows my mind because like I consider that place to be like a really conservative area. I mean, that's me assuming. You know what I mean? I'm not really in touch out there. I guess, but like like in Denton, I believe, and like, yeah, dude, that's out there.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I wonder why that's happening.
They're like, we don't mind. Like that's such a character in itself. Is like. a really woke and progressive like,
Redneck
is like the idea of that just really is so funny to me. Like,
yeah, I mean, that is really strange.
there's so much comedy.
It is extremely odd, right? Like, I don't even know what to think about that. Like, it's probably because there's just a lot of fun. Like, there's funding to transform those places to fit a certain agenda.
What's going on is those kids are going off to college. They move back. You know, a lot of those like the older, more conservative parents. You know, their kids are going off to college because you know they want them to have a better life than what they had or whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, they go off to college and they take on whatever belief they want to take on, and sometimes. You know, if the DFW, it's a expanding metroplex. There's a lot of opportunity there, so some of those kids get jobs, in those surrounding areas or back in their hometowns. And over the years of that, it changes the landscapes of those. Where eventually now you have like in Palestine, you got like crazy shit going on or something. So I think that probably has a lot to do with it, man.
I think that has something to do with it. I think also there's more work from home opportunities. There's that. There's also just more money being spent in school board elections. Like, there's just money. There's a lot of money.
Why is there so much cash in public schools? Like, why the fuck is it so lucrative for these people to be like in superintendents of fucking?
Yeah, to make $400,000 a year to be like the superintendent.
Yeah, what are you, like the super principal? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, what is?
I mean, it's probably a big responsibility to manage everybody's education, but at the same time, you're just taking orders from somebody else.
No, they take orders from the state.
Yeah, and then the state's taking orders from somebody.
Why not
and
just
then
pay
the teachers,
state?
and then the teachers unions are telling them how they want things to manage. And unions are 501c3, so you can't disclose. They don't have to disclose who donates money to them. So if like Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates are donating insane amounts of money to the teachers union, right, or the Koch brothers, they don't have to disclose that, but now the educational curriculum could just be structured around what those people want. Like J.D. Rockefeller in like the 1930s or 40s started donating tons of money and spending it on public education. And the education system is largely based on what the Rockefellers wanted, want their workforce to be.
Right. Yeah, no, gotta train the drones,
It's totally crazy. Like they say like, oh, the whole banned book craze and all that stuff. Right, they're like, oh, we can't get the pornographic books. Like, there's like, like Law and Order. There's like books where there's like some like 10-year-old kids sucking dick or something. Like some teenagers sucking dick and they're reading it to fifth graders.
I had to look at the fucking National Geographic to see fucking some, just by now my standards, disgusting titties. But when I was younger, that's what I had. I
had Playboy magazine, so yeah.
I mean, you used to fight tooth and nail and try to find those when you were
find
a
the
little
porn.
bit older.
Yeah, I know.
You have to go out to the woods.
Well, now all you got to do is click on something. Like, that's gonna mess these kids up so much.
Yeah, the internet and access.
It's actually really bad. It's actually dangerous. Like,
you should almost need and this sounds like shitty government stuff, but like a permit for the internet. Like once you're like a certain age, like unwarranted access, so you could get that. You know what I mean? But
well, I think that you should have to. If you go look at a porno site, you have to show your driver's license and be 18. Like, yeah, you should have to show your driver's license or an ID saying that you're over 18 years old to go on a porno website.
Right.
I think that's reasonable.
Agreed, man. That shit's fucking crazy.
But we're talking about the banned books and all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like when people call these banned books, it's such garbage because if
it's not like they're banning.
Well, it's not. Well, here's why it's garbage, right, Ellis? It's because if I was a teacher in a middle school and I started and I made all my kids read the Bitcoin Standard, those same people would probably try to get me fired because I picked a book that was not on the approved curriculum list, even though that book is actually going to help them navigate adulthood and the financial system a lot better than anything that they would ever read.
1,000%.
So it's like, to call that a banned book, but then if I decide to talk to the kids about sound money or something that's actually going to help them in life, those same people would probably be the first individuals to put you on the chopping block for actually wanting to teach people a non-divisive, comprehensive way of learning.
Like, you know, there's so much shit that I got into like college that I didn't know whenever I got there. It's like, fuck, I wish I would have learned about this then. You know what I mean? Like simple things like balancing a checkbook or like fucking like, you know, paying your taxes or like filing taxes or like any kind of thing like that. Like once you're an adult and you start working a job and shit like that, like it's all stuff that you should know and like what the hell to do, you know?
Yeah, and then also the other problem too is like teaching for the test, right? And if you just start wokeifying the curriculum, then all this woke nonsense just becomes in the test. Well, and then if you try to like, I don't know, you know, introduce kids to books on gardening or books on financial literacy, you'll have those same woke parents who will be complaining to you because you're not teaching them to help them get ready for the test.
Right. Well, there's also like this like standardized testing, like all that stuff is fucking bullshit. And like, I don't know, I just felt like it was like a way for them to like justify spending money or some shit. And like they go like lock all these kids up in a fucking room and make them take some bullshit ass test administered by fucking the state or whatever to try and tell people, like, cause like it's pointless to do it at a certain age because everybody's brain develops at a different age.
And dude, the tests don't even provide a real measure of what your real aptitude is.
No, it's fucking stupid.
It's ridiculous.
Like at that age, you could start introducing like STEM stuff and like, you know, realistically, kids whenever they're 11 and 12 years old could work a fucking welding machine. Like they could fucking start learning a trade at that age, and like not even like learning it to become certified in it, and like that's what they're gonna do, but find interest in it or like know how to do it, you know?
Yeah. If I started teaching trades to students if I was a teacher, I would get yelled at by progressive parents who send their kids to drag shows. Guaranteed. Like it's just so weird how this stuff works.
Yeah, it's like you know, well, it's like the weird mindset that like, oh, my kid's going to college, my kid's going to do this because that's like the best way. Like so many kids got pushed into going to school that would have thrived, you know, if they would have gone to like a trade school and learned a trade and like, you know, would have been making $50 to $65 an hour, maybe 75, you know, an hour whenever they're welding versus like them going to the college, not knowing what the fuck they want to do for 6 years, get depressed because they don't know what the fuck they want to do with their life, and like, you know, it's just like a fucking weird thing.
Yeah, I had that issue in college too, man. I felt totally lost when I was in school. Like, I
was like kicking down the dean's door, like, dude, get me the fuck out of here. I have too many hours. Like, I knew I wanted to play music, but like, I just knew that like I needed to get out of there with something. I'd just been there for too long, you know. Wasn't gonna go down without a fight.
Hell yeah. And you got your degree. Gen Studies, baby. Let's go.
Gen Studs. Let's go.
Gen Studs. Shit. Do you have any friends that got big record deals?
I mean, I've met some of my guys that are pretty big now that, like, whenever I met them earlier, they weren't that big. This dude, his name's Hardy.
Yeah?
Michael. He was like songwriting down in Matagorda whenever I was down there playing a show, and he was with a mutual friend of ours who was living in Nashville at the time, Ichabod, and they came out to a show, and we exchanged information, and like a few years later, this dude's like really popular now in the pop country scene, so shout out.
Do you think that's changed him?
I don't know, man. I don't really like know him that well to say like, oh, he's changed, but like I've hit him up a few times and he's got back to me, so it's cool.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, that is really cool. Alex Stein is the same way.
Oh, no shit. Yeah, he's funny as hell, man.
Yeah, Alex.
He said, my wife's boyfriend's homeless.
Yeah, my wife's boyfriend, Don Terry, is hilarious.
Yeah. What the fuck?
I feel like I'm like the Walmart version of him, and I don't care. And I love it.
No, dude, y'all are two separate guys, dude. Two different Alexes.
He said I was like his twin brother, though.
Dude, y'all could have the AA podcast.
Dude, that we should. You know, like, I think I got to get a little more. I got to keep putting in more work and more dues, and then, you know, we bring that up.
Dude, I think you're ready for it, man. He'd be lucky to have you.
I like that. The AA pod. That'd be
right?
fun.
And if anybody ever ran up on y'all while y'all were together, you've got it handled.
Yeah, and Alex is a big dude, too. He played college football. He's like 6'4".
Alex is big?
He's like 6'4" and like 230. Yeah, he's fucking
looks
big.
Tiny.
No
wonder
he's
he's fearless.
Yeah, he's a big guy. Alex Stein is a big guy.
It's
he
really
was like,
funny when people are much bigger than what you
think.
assume. Yeah, like I met Trace Atkins, and dude, he's like 6'5". He has like fucking like these cables for veins like running down his arms. He's gigantic, and like he sang the American national anthem at the football game I was at. But I was like on the sidelines, like staring at this dude, like Jesus Christ, this guy's gigantic. I've only seen him from like, playing country music and in his westerns, but big guy.
That is true. No, Alex Stein's big. He was the captain of his high school football team, and he like walked on at like some FCS D1 school. Like,
just took it over.
No, he didn't. I don't think he like got that many minutes or got reps, but he was like on the practice. But like he was practicing with like monsters playing.
So he's like, Big Rudy.
Kind of, yeah. He was Big Rudy. Yeah, he was Big Rudy. That's exactly what I think he was. Yeah.
Big Rudy Rudiger.
Yeah, no, he's big. Like he's a big dude.
That's awesome. 6'3", 230.
Yeah, he's fucking big.
He do jits?
I don't think he trains now.
Dude, get him in.
He needs to. He should.
Is he based in Austin?
No, he's in Dallas. He would thrive in Austin. All right, we have 5 minutes. He would thrive in Austin.
He would, man. He would. You were mentioned by InfoWars, and I've heard Alex speak about you a few times. How's that?
Wait, Alex Jones? No, Eddie Bravo spoke about me once.
Eddie
Bravo? To Alex.
Okay, so that's what it was.
I went on the American Journal like right before the New Year's.
Okay.
And they put me on again like while I was driving to work on Friday, but like the video and the audio was not very good, so I only got like 10 minutes to go on.
Right.
But I'm just like, all right. He's like, hey, dude, just next time you make something else, we'll just have you back.
Okay.
Come back on. Yeah.
So you're filming this Thursday though? So you have a meeting, or like you're going to a
council meeting?
Council meeting.
Oh, that's on Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday. Okay.
Yeah, that's on Wednesday. So I got that, and then I got my episode with Klaus Jr. tomorrow. Klaus Schwab Jr. is gonna be fun. No, not tomorrow. I have it on Wednesday after the council meeting. And then Thursday I gotta work.
Okay.
So I don't know. I gotta figure out. I mean, it's just it's never ending, but it's all in the best way.
Are you gonna be at the Jiu-Jitsu at all this week? 10th Planet.
The Jiu-Jitsu, I'll try.
Nice.
I'm probably gonna like do Jiu-Jitsu with the gi on at Machado's in Dripping Springs just because it seems easier.
Okay. Do you live out that way?
Yeah, I bought my house in Johnson City. It takes like an hour for me to get here.
Nice. You bought a house?
I bought a house. Yeah, a year ago. I bought a house.
Congrats, man. That's dope.
So it's pretty cool. Owning a house is kind of cool. I like it. All right, Ellis, how do you get a hold of you?
Get a hold of me via Instagram. That's at Ellis Bullard. I'm on Twitter, Ellis Bullard TX. Come see me this week. I'll be at the 7 Gram Whiskey Bar for our Tuesday residency at 9 p.m. We'll be at the White Horse for our Wednesday night residency at 10 p.m. This Thursday, we'll be out in West Texas. This probably comes out, I don't know, after this. So come see us in Lubbock if you're there this Thursday. Friday, we'll be at the Golden Light in Amarillo, and Saturday, we'll be down in Georgetown.
Excellent. Ellis, so excited.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, brother. Good time.
For sure. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right.
We'll see you.
Now I got to do some bonus footage.